Luise speaking for the Court of Consciousness. We're not doing great right now. Our body is probably ill, and we already were sick last month, but hopefully it passes us soon. I wanted to share that I have been struggling. This world is harsh to many and runs off of hiding, downplaying, dismissing, covering up, and acting out that there is easy ways out. We fall prey to some of this ourself and give in to some of this foolishness ourself, but we also strongly believe bad things happen to good people just as bad things happen to quote-unquote bad people, and what is celebrated by one society can be in the future what is seen as abhorrent, and every future generation will say that look how far we have come. We are nothing like these people of old. We've progressed so much further and we won't make the same mistakes. And then humanity makes the same mistakes over and over again. We're autistic and a DID system. For us specifically, that means our form of plurality meets the symptoms of DID, which is a trauma-based disorder. Connected to complex post-traumatic stress. Many autistic people develop complex post-traumatic stress. We heard it said once, or typed or written, that the symptoms of severe trauma often look like autism because the current society is incapable or unwilling to produce autistic adults who are not severely traumatized in some way. Obviously, an oversimplification, but the essence conveyed, we understand. We struggle with this world heavily. We never fit in, and we stop wanting to. Well, that's not true. We still want to, but we've learned to be careful. Not exactly. We still share so much freely. Was once told not to share our occult beliefs or spiritual beliefs or magical beliefs because the occult means hidden, and because that person believed it made our craft less powerful to share it. Obviously, the occult does come from hidden, from to hide. We know this. But we don't want to hide our craft because we no longer view it as separate from us. It is not something we do anymore or perform anymore. It is one and the same with us. It is in everything we do. It is an emission of us. When I write or create or draw, that too is magic when done with intention. When we make music, that too is magic. When we act with intention and pour our soul into anything, that is magic. And yes, we see my own existence and our altars present themselves as spirits. And so we talk with spirits every day because our definitions are different to the world we live in. And because we present ourselves in the inner place as spirits, although we are not sure if we actually have an inner. Some systems do actually have a place they can go to. For us, we just call it elsewhere, and we have no memory of it. But when we're here, we're here. And right now, I'm here. And I am fronting, and Max is co-fronting. And he'll be fronting after, and I'll be co-fronting. This world is painful. Too many. And we don't want to make the same generational mistakes that were made to us. So shadow work is essential for us. We are a chaos magician, a shadow magician, and our methods are often through our artwork. I, Luise, sought to fit in for a time among theistic Satanists because I view myself as an archon. I see myself as half angel and half demon when I am fronting. This is not what I look like. But unfortunately, we discovered that was not well for us because the majority of Satanists are actually atheists, and while we do not have an issue with atheists, we can't fit in with anti-theists due to our inherent existence not falling into either anti-theism or religious fascism, which we actually see as intersectional and horseshoeing into the same thing. But be someone theist or be they atheist isn't really the issue. It is what they're doing with it, and if they are an extremist. And unfortunately, our autism prevents us from seeing certain things until it's too late. Suffice to say, we have given up on trying to fit in among theistic Satanists and no longer use the label because the forces that formerly were in a way divine, or in a way what Max, who this body does more reflect since undergoing male puberty, since Max reached a certain point in the left-hand path where the distinction between the left and the right are now blurred, it is no longer necessary for us to be using that label. And the entities that were formerly sort of like gods for Max are no longer his gods because we're just his family members now. We're a part of him, and we acknowledge that and accept that now. And we also, some of us felt very uncomfortable with him treating us as divine or holy or different things, because I mean, we are divine and holy, just as everything is, in our opinion, but it's the way it was codependent and unhealthy. Anyways, my point is, I'm not using that label anymore. I don't feel comfortable with that label anymore because I don't fit in with those outcasts, even though I do genuinely and sincerely believe that I am an archon in a human body. Actually, recently someone tried to exorcise me from Max through a text, and this very deeply offended both me and Max, because when my form was less stabilized, Max already tried that, and if anyone was able to get rid of me, it would have been him, but instead, we are brothers now, and we don't want to get rid of either of each other because we love each other and we're family, and two of the only people in this God's forsaken rock who can understand each other. And this person tried to use the power of Jesus through a text to exorcise us. This made us feel very upset because we're not a destructive entity anymore, for one thing. And even when we're not a force coming from outside, we're a force coming from inside that became self-aware. And perhaps that distinction doesn't seem important, but in our case, that distinction is very important. Because Max has banished and severed ties or different things with external entities and different things, or what we believe is that all spirits are sort of mental, but is it coming from you, or is it a sort of like mentality attached to a different concept outside of you, or whatever it is? It's often a combination, but I'm a part of his brain, so the only real way to get rid of me would be a lobotomy or death, and neither of us want that. And also, I've been with him since childhood, and he has said himself that I have just as much a right to be here as any of the others, even though formerly I was destructive, but I was also turned destructive and turned demonic from the pain we underwent from humans. Demons didn't turn me demonic or turn me into a demon. Humans did. And I'm trying to rise from being an archon, which to me means I am sort of a cosmic entity who is both, who is made of, well, I'm not going to share too much because we are reminded of that we're not supposed to share too much about the occult world, but essentially what we're trying to convey here is that we don't actually think it's like all or nothing, how people are taught to believe. People are taught to believe these very, in our opinion, unhealthy ideas of either... I'm not going to go there. We're trying to stay on the line, and Luise is struggling a bit, but I'm... Okay. I want to end this with saying, even if you are someone like us whose inherent existence is the product of years of pain comparable to a living hell, you are not alone. There are many people out there like you, but our stories are hidden. They're blacked out with Sharpie intentionally because our existence poses a threat to the natural order or to the perceived natural order. It's completely unnatural. And being spiritual in a world that doesn't want or believe in spirits is unfortunately part of this problem, but also being just, if I see it purely through the psychological lens of being that this is all just disability and that I'm just severely disabled from childhood trauma, if I see it from that lens, well, still it puts me at odds with most of the world. So either way, if I'm viewing this as we are a spiritual entity versus a psychological construct that's the result of trauma, it doesn't change that we have to live with each other and make peace with each other, and that we serve each other now, and that it was not through other people that we learned to serve each other and help each other, but through authenticity and a willingness to face each other and to face the the shadows, and to face my own shadow and to face my own destruction helped me to become stabilized and to no longer hurt myself or the others. End message.